Praise the Lord, everybody. So, beginning from the foundation of the world, in the book of Matthew and Luke, it was prophesied that a virgin would bring forth a child. Everybody didn't like that. Some people were okay with it. You had the naysayers, and you had those that did believe. We took a miracle, a supernatural miracle, and we gave it a modern-day twist. As you can see right now, you are in the courtroom setting of BCA, Bethel Christian Assembly. Without this mother, none of us would have been here today. Not one of us. Because it took the supernatural mom from over 2,000 years ago to bring us to where we are today. Creative Praise brings forth our production called The Trial of Mary. It has some spin, some twists, but if you sit back, relax, and enjoy, I know that God's going to bless you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We thank you for accepting this awesome responsibility for this very important case. I ask that you not make sure that your cell phones are turned off, that you do acknowledge where we're at, what type of atmosphere we're in out here. Do not acknowledge anyone in the audience out there. Again, this is a very important case, and we want you all to concentrate on what the matter is at hand. And again, I thank you very much. I will escort you to your seats. Once you go to your numbered seats, foreman, make sure you're at number 1. Again, that will give you further instructions once we get out there. Thank you. Follow me. All rise. Juror number 1. Juror number 2. Juror number 3. 4, 5, 6. Starting at juror 7, take the second row. Jurors, just a reminder, make sure, not just you, but the entire courtroom, make sure that your cell phones are off, that do not make any noise. Again, this is a very strict judge. He has been known to confiscate phones and any other things that make noise. There's no gum chewing, no excessive talking, no excessive walking. Are there any questions? Thank you. Your Honor, they're ready. All rise. The Honorable Judge Tasha Brown presiding.
Everyone but the defendant and the lawyers, please be seated. Miss Mary, do you know why you're here?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. And to charges of adultery, how do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor. I have committed no sin.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's get this trial started. You may be seated. Mr. Prosecutor, your opening arguments, please.
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, let me be the first to say that I think this whole situation is quite hilarious. Don't you agree?
No.
Of course not. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today you will hear a case that is not about a young, innocent girl who was visited by an angel, overshadowed by the presence of God, only to awaken to realize that she is no longer a virgin. Now, the defense will argue that that is the truth. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a case about a young woman madly in love with her soon-to-be husband, and in a moment of weakness, found herself in a compromising situation. Now, the defense will provide testimony that is a blatant cover-up of this fact. The prosecution will provide you expert testimony, logical evidence that proves the defendant is guilty. And with that, I humbly take my seat.
Mr. Prosecutor, before you humbly take your seat, your history in my courtroom demands that I say this. Today you're going to behave. And if you choose not to behave, I will throw you in jail for contempt. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Defense, are you ready for your opening?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
In addressing this courtroom today, may I take you back to a time when our ancestors faced open waters with Pharaoh and his army in hot pursuit? What happened next? The Red Sea parted into two, and they were able to walk on dry land safely. May I also remind you of one man who stood against the Philistine army? And what about the 300 that defeated millions? I could cite many more examples to you today to prove to you that God is able to do what he says he can do. He can do the impossible. But that's really not why we're here today. He wants you to think that Mary was put into a compromising position. That's not true. We're here to prove that God's ability is being put to the test once again.
Objection, Your Honor.
On what grounds?
The defense is trying to twist the mind of this courtroom.
Are you trying to tell me that my mind is twisted?
No, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
In light of our past and what has happened to this woman today, we seek to prove to you that God can do the impossible. And that's all there is to it.
All right. Hey then, prosecution, call your first witness.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call Priest Samuel David to the stand, please.
Samuel David.
Raise your right hand. Will you tell the truth?
I'm a man of the cloth. I always tell the truth.
Have your seat.
Priest Samuel David, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good, good. About 2.5 months ago, you came into my office and you shared with me an interesting story. A little bizarre, but interesting, to say the least. Can you share with the courtroom what you told me that day in my office?
Yes, about 2.5 months ago, I was visited by a young man. He was very distraught.
Is that young man in this courtroom today?
Yes, he is. He's right there.
Objection, Your Honor. I'm pretty sure that if Mr. Carpenter spoke to the priest, it was a confidential matter. Not only that, but Mr. Carpenter is the spouse of the defendant.
Your Honor, Priest Samuel's job is to uphold the law. If the law has been broken, it needs to be told, Your Honor.
Are you implying that Mr. Carpenter has broken the law?
No, but someone did.
All right. I'll allow the testimony. Answer the questions.
Please continue, Priest Samuel. What was the conversation between you and Mr. Carpenter?
Yes, he told me that his espoused wife was pregnant. And he's not
There we
the
go,
father!
Oh my God!
You're not the father!
That is it.
You're not the father!
What happened?
Order in
You're
this
not the
court.
father!
Order in my courtroom.
But objection, Your
Didn't
Honor.
happen that way, I promise.
Lord have mercy. Order in this courtroom. All right.
Joseph.
Okay. That explains how we got here today. Oh, Lord have mercy. Do you have any more questions for this witness here?
Just one more, Your Honor.
All right.
May I enter State's Evidence, Exhibit A, please? Now, Priest Samuel, can you tell us what the punishment for this sin that has been committed?
Objection. What sin? Have we proven that a sin has taken
Sustained.
place?
I'll restate the question.
Thank
Please
you.
do.
Priest Samuel, can you tell us what the punishment is for adultery?
Yes, I sure can.
Thank you, kind sir.
And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
Thank you, Priest Samuel. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examine.
I sure do, Your Honor. Priest Samuel, a man of the cloth,
Most definitely.
I see that you enjoy reading scriptures from the scrolls.
What kind of question is that? Oh, yes, I love
All
it.
the time? Do
All
you
the
just
time.
like all of them? Just
Oh,
a
yeah.
select few?
All of them.
All of them. Well, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Since you have those scrolls right there, could you read this one for me?
This one here.
Yes, and read it loudly and enunciate like you did the other
I
one.
don't have a problem with it. All right. Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign.
Okay.
Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you read that last phrase again?
Behold, a virgin
A who?
shall conceive.
Could you stop right there? A who?
A virgin.
A virgin?
Yes.
As in someone who's never been with a man?
Yes.
Great. I'm glad you agree with me. Are you familiar with this young lady right here, the virgin?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know her family?
Yes.
Pretty well-respected family, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's say that God chose you to pick someone, since you're a man of the cloth.
Yes.
To pick someone that would be upstanding, that would be a virgin, that would carry his Messiah, would you or could you pick Mary?
Well, I.
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled. Prosecutor.
What this time?
I just don't understand the relevance of this question, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Okay, I'll put it like this. Priest, do you really believe that Mary is guilty of adultery?
Well,
You know what? Your hesitation answered that question for me. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down. Step down.
Yes.
All right. Prosecution, call your next witness.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call Dr. Tony French to the stand.
All right.
Raise your right hand. Will you tell the truth?
Yeah. Sir, aren't you supposed to have a Bible or something
Your
like
Honor.
that? in
Just
your hand?
answer the question.
And I swear to tell the truth.
Answer the question. There'll be no swearing in my courtroom.
Will you tell the truth,
Yes, I will tell the truth.
the whole truth,
The whole truth.
and nothing but the truth?
Sir, couldn't you have asked me all of those
Answer
questions at
the
one time?
question.
And nothing but the truth, sir.
Please
Thank
take your
you.
seat.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, sir. I'm doing well. And yourself?
Good,
Thank
good.
you.
I'm well. For the record, can you state your name, profession, and address, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Tony French, and I'm a doctor, of course.
Of course.
And I live on Jerusalem Street, sir.
Good. Do you know why you are here today, sir?
Yes, but I had nothing to do with the death of that salesman, sir.
What?
Salesman?
What salesman?
You asked them about a salesman?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Oh, my God. What is going on?
No, sir.
We'll be sure to follow up on that one.
Investigate death of salesman. No, sir. So, continuing on, the defendant, well, let me ask you this. In your medical profession, have you ever come across a case where a virgin was pregnant?
Sir,
I know.
may
it's
I
quite
ask,
odd.
what kind of question is that, sir?
Will you answer the question, please?
Your Honor, in all honesty, that is not a fair question. And to be quite honest, I am at this point a little bit annoyed So please, sir, if you don't mind, please let your next set of questions be based at least on some common sense. Thank
Are you
you.
addressing my courtroom that way?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Duly noted, sir.
Okay.
Duly noted. Could you answer the question, please?
I think I've had enough of this.
Sit down.
Your
Answer the
Honor.
question.
Sir,
Yes or no?
the answer is no, sir,
Okay.
to what I, again, consider a very, if I could just put it in a nice way, a stupid question.
Okay. Well, let's try this one. Do you know the defendant?
No, sir, I don't believe I know her.
Okay. Well, the defendant wants this courtroom to believe that she somehow miraculously became pregnant without, knowing a man. Still, in fact, stating that she is a virgin.
I am a virgin. Won't someone just believe me?
Order in this courtroom. Sit down. Defense.
I apologize, Your Honor.
Okay.
Sir, I have to say, based on my medical experience, that there is no way possible that a woman can get pregnant from without
I know. You
knowing
and
a
I
man.
know. Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Are you sure about that, Dr. French?
Sir, I am so sure about that I'm willing to bet my life on that, and I'll even go further than that, Judge. I bet the life of my family on that fact.
We're gonna
No
take
further
you up on
questions,
it.
Your Honor.
We'll definitely take you up on that. All right. Defense, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor, I would. Dr. French, do you believe in God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Doesn't everybody?
I'm only asking you. Do you believe that he can do the impossible?
I do. If he chooses to do the impossible, he can do that. It's up to him.
Okay. So then do you
I would
believe-
say yes, maybe sometimes.
Okay. You done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. So, do you believe that the prophecies that the priest just read, do you believe that they're true, that they exist?
Again, I have to ask the question, what prophecy are you talking about, ma'am?
I'm referring to the prophecy in which it's given that the Messiah would come through the means of a virgin, the one that we just read about.
Well, to save Israel?
Yes.
Maybe.
To save Israel.
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled, prosecutor.
But you don't know why I'm objecting,
It
Your Honor.
does-
Why
doesn't
are
matter.
you objecting?
It doesn't matter. Have a seat.
So, what are you saying, ma'am?
I'm saying, as I previously stated, that the prophecy came forth that a virgin would carry a baby that would save Israel from their sins. Do you or do you not agree with the prophecy?
Again, I say that
Answer
God
the
is able to
question.
do whatever he wants to do.
Okay, he's able
Whatever
to.
he chooses to do, he could do it.
That's great right there. Now, are you saying that God couldn't impregnate Mary?
I'm saying, ma'am, that humans are capable of making babies on their own.
Okay.
So you would want your Messiah to come through natural causes?
Well, yes, if that's the case, I would prefer that. But again, he can do whatever he wants to do. He's God.
Do you or do you not believe in the miraculous?
Objection, Your Honor. I'm being badgered.
Your Honor, I would do no such thing.
Order in this court. You do know you can't object, right?
Yes.
Okay. Answer
sorry,
the
Your
question.
Honor.
Continue.
What was the question again, please?
Do you believe in the miraculous?
Yes.
Okay. I believe that when you were in medical school, you studied history, and I'm pretty sure you came across a case of Abraham and Sarah.
Yes, ma'am.
Sarah was about 90, Abraham was about 100 years old, and she became pregnant. How do you explain that?
Well, I'd have to go back to my medical training, and I believe, based on what was medically documented, and it was documented very well, that it's possible.
And you know what? I would actually agree with you on this one. It is medically documented. Now, if God could use a 90-year-old and a 100-year-old who are practically dead, why can he not use a virgin to bring forth life?
Right. Okay.
I don't know. Again, that would be his choice if he chose to do that.
It would be God's choice,
It would
right?
be totally up to him
Because
to do
he
that.
can do what he wants to
Because
do.
he can do
And he's
whatever
capable
he
of
wants
doing
to do.
whatever he wants to do. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're
I
welcome.
have no further questions.
All right.
Your Honor, may I ask one more question for
This
this
man?
witness? Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead.
Dr. French,
Yes, sir.
is there a way that you can physically examine a young woman to determine if
What?
she is in fact still a virgin?
What? What? Wait a minute.
Well, sir, I thank you very much for that question. I
You're
think
welcome.
it's a
You're
very appropriate question. Given my medical background
No.
and the course that we studied in medical school, gynecology,
Okay.
I believe
No.
that diagnostically,
Absolutely not.
and I believe that definitively, the answer is yes
Objection, Your Honor.
to your question, sir. Yes, sir.
Order in this courtroom. Objection. But Your Honor.
There would be no buts in my
But Your
courtroom.
Honor. I do not want that man examining me. My body is for my husband.
All right. This is what we're going to do. We're going to leave the examination out for right now.
Well, I think it's a good
I've
idea.
made a final decision. I need to bring to your attention, let me tell you some rules in my courtroom, since none of you have been in court before, apparently. There are only two people that can object. One is the prosecutor. Raise your hand. The other is the defense attorney. All right. Those will be the only two objecting in the courtroom today. Is that all right? It will be all right. Be seated.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Out there.
Thank you.
Dr. French.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask that you, at the end of this court case, that you kind of remain in the confines of the courtroom, because we're going to have a few more questions concerning this salesman.
Certainly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. Prosecution, your next witness, please.
The prosecution will rest for now, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, you may call your first witness.
I would like to call to the stand Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, if we help you out, we'll help you out. Take your time. Take all the time that you need.
We don't have that much time.
There you go. Just 1 second. We're going to lock this in. We're going to lock the chariot in. There you go. All right.
Careful.
Take your time. There you go.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, we have a step here. I want you to take a nice, easy step.
Yeah, be careful.
Easy step. Okay, another easy step. There you go. Let me pull this chair out for you. There you go. Step back. Yep. Okay, you can sit down.
Ease it down.
Easy down. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Okay, you can turn. There you go. Are you comfortable? All right. Will you tell the truth?
Yes, I will. The truth, nothing but the truth,
and the whole truth.
All right. Let me help you around here again. Are you? There you go. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
All right, then. I'm going to pull this up a little closer for you. All right. Then. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad you was able to make it here today. For the record, could you please state your name, your age, and your relationship to the defendant?
My name is Elizabeth. I am the wife of Zachariah. I am 88 years old, and I am the first cousin of the defendant.
You mean the defendant?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
good. All right. Do you believe in miracles, Miss Elizabeth?
Yes, I do.
And then on what ground do you base your faith?
I have my miracle right here to show.
Why, Miss Elizabeth? Are you pregnant?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness's body fat is being undermined here.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Order in this courtroom. You treading on some thin ice.
Your Honor, the defense is asking an 88-year-old woman if she's pregnant, as if being fat isn't bad enough. She's insulted. I object on behalf of the witness, Your Honor.
Sit down.
This
Trouble.
is not fat. You are not, sir. Chatterbox.
What?
Here. Miss Elizabeth, please be seated.
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, continue, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Elizabeth, I do apologize for that, and I don't mean to get you riled up in your condition, but I'm going to have to ask you that a question just one more time. Are you pregnant?
Yes, I am.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Can you tell us how that happened?
I was visited by an angel.
Okay. You was visited by an angel, and can you continue?
Yes, the angel Gabriel, the one that stands in the presence of God.
Right.
Objection, Your Honor. We want facts, not fiction. Your Honor. No, sit down. Do we have to sit through this foolishness?
Bailiff, would you like to take him out?
Sitting down.
Sit down.
Again, Miss Elizabeth, I apologize, but I need you in this testimony to be as detailed as possible. So please tell us how this happened.
The angel Gabriel, as I was saying before I was interrupted, visited me and my husband and told us that we was going to have a child. Well, my husband didn't believe, but I knew in my heart nothing was impossible for God.
So your husband doubted.
Oh, yes. His unbelief, and we are paying dearly for his unbelief.
How so? Could you explain that?
Yes. See, after the angels visit us, he struck my husband with dumb, and he will not be able to speak until the child is born.
But you said we are paying dearly.
Oh, yes, because I have to do all the reading. Everything my husband want me to say, I have to read his writing. And I don't particularly like doing all that reading, and my husband doesn't write so well.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry to hear about that. But do you know that that doctor, the one from Jerusalem Street?
Oh, yes, that doctor down on Jerusalem Street.
Yeah, that
yes,
doctor.
I went to him.
And you acquired his services before?
Yes, I went to him for advice. After the angels visit me and I was pregnant, I went to his office and he chased me out of his office.
He did what?
He chased me out of his office.
Why would he do that?
He said I must be cuckoo
Man.
to think that I can be pregnant at my age.
Oh, wow. So if he didn't examine you, then how do you know that you're pregnant?
Can't you people see? Duh.
Okay. Well, I have no further questions.
Do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. I sure do.
You better tread light.
But of course. Miss Elizabeth, wife of Zachariah, how are you today?
I am fine.
Good.
Be an old pregnant lady.
Okay. So, question for you. Did you eat breakfast this morning?
Yes, I did. What that had to do with anything?
Objection.
Your Honor,
Objection. What is the relevance of those questions?
Your Honor,
Answer.
it will all become very clear in just a moment. Please bear with me.
All right, sustained. Answer the questions.
Yes, I did. I had
Okay.
breakfast.
You had breakfast. Now, did you eat after breakfast?
Yes.
Maybe snacks, another lunch, maybe
A
2,
few
3,
times.
4,
A
5,
few
6.
times, a
Then
few
is
times.
it not possible, Miss Elizabeth? This large stomach in front of you is a manifestation of your greedy ways.
What?
Miss Elizabeth, face it. You're fat. You're not pregnant.
No.
You're just plain
No.
fat.
No, Zacharias, no! Order! Order in this courtroom. Bailiff, cuff him and have him seated right there.
Put your hands right here. Put your hands right here. Hands right here. Still, put your hands.
Oh, my goodness. If this ain't a circus today.
Right here. Stay right there.
Let me ask you something. Has fat or food ever leaked in your stomach? I kicked against the wall of it? You just see me in 1 month's time, and I'll show you what fat and food look like after my baby is born.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down.
Step down. Take your time. Take your time. Watch your step.
Bailiff, I'm going to need some Advil.
Yeah, I've got extra. I've got an extra bottle in the back, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Take your time.
And a Coke.
Walk slowly. Walk slowly. We're going to make you to your seat.
Mary, I love you. It's going to be all right, Mary.
Okay, they can't. No embracing. No embracing. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Come on, let's go sit there. All right, let's go. Have a seat right here. Have a seat. There you go. Take
All-
it. There you go, Miss Mary.
All right. It's time. I need a break. We'll have a 15-minute recess. We'll reconvene at 1200 hours.
All rise. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I ask that you follow me. In this way. Everyone, you can be seated now.
How are you holding up, Mary? I know this is pretty stressful. There's a lot of things going on, but are you okay?
I'm okay.
Are you sure?
I think I'm
We have a
okay.
brief recess. If you need to go get something to drink, if you just need to decompress, we can step out of the courtroom.
Yes, I'm just gonna stay in here and get my head together.
Okay, well, I'm going to step out, and I'll be right back. If you need anything, you know where my assistant is. You can come and get me, okay?
Yes, thank you.
All righty.
Oh, Mama, I need my mama. How did it get this far? I mean, this is such a mess. Oh, Mama, I remember as a child when you would tell me about the greatness of our people, the chosen people. I remember learning about the glory of Israel and King David and King Solomon. I even remembered when you had me memorize the Psalms and had me study all the promises of God. The promises that said that one day God would send someone to save his people by sending a Messiah, that is. Now, I know this sounds crazy, Mama. I know this sounds crazy, and no one else is believing me. But remember the angel I told you about? Remember the angel? He was so beautiful, Mama. He was so beautiful. And he terrified me, though. But he assured me not to be afraid because God had found favor in me. And I would be the one to carry the Messiah. Me? No. Me? I mean, why me? I'm so young. And I'm so ordinary. Now, Mama, I know you really, really like Joseph. I know you love him. And I know you probably think that I've messed this thing up. But I just need someone to believe with me. I need someone to believe the angel with me. I need someone to believe God with me. I need someone to believe with me that everything is going to be okay and that God can do the impossible. I mean, we've seen it firsthand. Look at Elizabeth. Only God can do that. I don't know exactly what's to come of this. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I can't give you any details, Mama. But one thing I do know for sure is that something great is going to come out of this. Everything inside me cries for water. Everything inside me wants to hide. Is the shadow of an angel or a warrior? If God is pleased with me, why am I so terrified? Someone tell me I am only dreaming. Someone help me see with heaven's eyes. And before my head agrees, my heart is on its knees. Holy is He, and blessed am I, be born in me, be born in me. Trembling heart, somehow I believe that you chose me. I'll hold you in the beginning, you will hold me in the end. Every moment in the middle, make my heart your Bethlehem, be born in me. All this time we've waited for the promise. All this time you've waited for my arms. Did you wrap yourself inside the unexpected? So we might know that love would go that far. Be born in me. Be born in me. Trembling heart, somehow I believe that you chose me, and I'll hold you in the beginning, you will hold me in the end. Every moment in the middle, make my heart your Bethlehem, be born in me. I am not brave, I'll never be. The only thing my heart can offer is a vacancy. I'm just a girl, nothing more, but I am willing, I am yours. Be born in me, be born in me, and I'll hold you in the beginning, you will hold us in the end, every moment in the middle, make my heart your Bethlehem. Be born in me.
All rise. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, follow me. Get in your same seats, please. Yes. Same seats. Same seat. I should have went the other way. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me remind you the same rules that applied this earlier session applies to this one. A reminder, make sure there's no excessive talking, no chewing gum, no excessive walking. And are there any questions? Thank you. They're ready, Your Honor. The Honorable Tasha Brown presiding.
Be seated. All right. All right. We have a pregnant virgin, an 88-year-old cousin who is also pregnant. This is shaping up to be quite a day here. I'm a little reluctant to ask in real life. Did you bring my Advil?
Got an extra bottle on there, too.
Thank you. Do you have any more witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I would like to call to the stand Miss Abigail, the mother of the defendant.
Miss Abigail.
Raise your right hand. Will you tell the truth?
I most certainly will. I have no reason not to.
Please take a seat. Watch your step.
Thank you, Miss Abigail. I called you here today to be a character witness for your daughter, okay? So could you describe your daughter to us?
There are so many things that I can say about my daughter. But as I look at her today, I think about how beautiful she is, how innocent she is. She's always thoughtful. She's kind. She's caring. She's sweet. But most of all, she still maintains the spirituality that she's been taught.
Would you also describe her as truthful?
Yes, she's very truthful.
So, do you really believe, Miss Abigail, everything that she's telling you about being pregnant with the Messiah?
See, I don't understand. I don't understand why we're here today. My daughter is innocent. You're accusing her based on our beliefs and our traditions and our customs. Do you not know that the Messiah has to come? And God has chosen my daughter to bring forth his son. I know this is not how I would have wanted her to have a child at such a prime time in her life. But I believe in God's word. I believe in his promises. And my daughter is a virgin.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Miss Abigail, are you able to continue? Give her a tissue, please.
Yes.
Prosecution, do you have any questions for this witness?
I do, Your Honor. Miss Abigail, it is very apparent that you love your daughter.
I do.
But might I add that sometimes that can cloud our judgment at times. So has your daughter ever lied to you?
No, she's never lied.
Okay, so are you 100% sure that your daughter has never lied to you? I mean, it is possible, is it not?
I can't recall her ever lying to me. I mean, if it was so long ago when she was a little girl. You know how kids are sometimes. But as the young lady that I raised her to be, the young adult that she is today, no, she's never lied to me.
Miss Abigail, I too have teenagers, and I know I cannot honestly say they have never lied to me.
You don't understand our relationship. My daughter tells me everything, and she is telling the truth.
Has she told you who the father of the baby is?
Why, of course. The Father is the Holy Spirit. I see where you're going with this. And I cannot express enough that my daughter is telling the truth. She has not been with a man. She is a virgin.
Miss Abigail, how can you be so sure that a man, maybe Joseph, is not the father?
How can you be so sure that a man is the father? Do you not understand what we believe in? His words and his truth and his promises, his miracles. If God can bless Elizabeth, surely he can bless Mary.
Miss Abigail, in case you haven't noticed, Miss Elizabeth has a husband.
We can all see that Miss Elizabeth has a husband. He's there before us. But do you not think that that too is a miracle? Do you not see all of the miracles that God has done right here in this very room before your very eyes? Would you not agree?
I'm asking the questions here. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Abigail, you may step down. Defense, do you have any more witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to call to the stand my last witness, Joseph Carpenter.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. Will you tell the truth?
I will.
Please have a seat.
You know, Joseph, it takes a lot of courage for you to show up in this courtroom today.
Are you kidding me? I wanted to be here, to support Mary.
So you wanted to show support, although your wife is pregnant with a baby that is fathered by the Holy Spirit?
Yes, and I believe it's all true.
Well, did you ever consider calling off the wedding?
I'll admit, my first impulse was to do just that. But then Mary told me what happened, how she was visited by an angel, Gabriel, and he told her that the Holy Spirit of God would implant a baby inside of her womb.
Your Honor, here we go again with these lies, facts. We want facts, Your Honor, facts.
They're facts. You just said they were facts.
Mr. Prosecutor, take your seat. The court will hear the testimony.
Thank you.
You're
Continue.
welcome.
You were saying the angel came
Yes,
to you?
the angel came to me. Yes, he did.
Great. So you really do believe everything that Mary is telling you?
Yes, and I believe the angel. Because right after I decided to send Mary away quietly, that same angel appeared to me and confirmed her story. He told me to go ahead with the marriage and that the baby would be a blessing.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Joseph, you are a carpenter by trade, so measurements and numbers, you kind of deal with logic, correct? So this may sound, don't you think this sounds a little far-fetched? I mean, even for you?
No, not at all. Me and Mary both believe that this is our long-awaited Messiah.
You do know that the law requires that the girl be put to death. I mean, I'm familiar with the Jewish law, and it states adulterers must be put to death. Now, Joseph, would you sacrifice common sense for a dream? A dream, Joseph? Would you discard an obvious truth for a myth that goes far beyond our natural ability? Would you marry an adulterer? Or would you stone her for the sinner that she is?
Mr. Prosecutor, you're assuming, as I did at first, that Mary is pregnant because of adultery. That's simply not the case. I can assure you that this is not the child of adultery.
And you got this from an angel.
We both did. The prophet Isaiah predicted that our coming Messiah will be born of a virgin, and he will be called Emmanuel, which means God with us.
Wait a minute. According to the prophet Micah, the Messiah will come from Bethlehem, not Nazareth.
Ah, yes, that reminds me. Mary, we must go to Bethlehem in order to prepare for the census. The baby shall be born there.
Are you a descendant of King David?
Yes, I am a descendant of King David. And just as the prophet predicted, the child shall be born into the family of King David. Now, is this trial almost over? Because I really must start preparing for our journey to Bethlehem if we want to make the census.
No further questions, Your Honor.
The witness may step down. Counselors, please.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we are all sensible people here, born with common sense and wisdom. The laws we have developed tell us that it takes a man and a woman to come together to conceive a child. Therefore, it's logical to believe that a virgin cannot become pregnant without knowing a man. No amount of faith in a God that can do the impossible can change that fact. No amount of faith in a coming Messiah can change that fact. The truth is, it just cannot happen. It's impossible. We do not need to waste any more time on this matter. Mary will be stoned to death at day's end for her lies and her deception.
It'll be okay.
Miss Abigail, if you cannot control yourself, I'll have to have you escorted out of the courtroom.
I leave this final thought with you. The decisions you make today will impact generations to come.
The purpose of this trial was never to determine whether or not Mary is guilty of what her accusers said that she did. It's to prove whether or not God can do the impossible. And we could very easily have Mary examined, and we can prove to you today that she is still, in fact, a virgin. In fact, we can keep going around and around in circles. But at the end of the day, there are really only two types of people in this courtroom: those who believe and those who don't believe. And your decision today will determine the fate of many generations to come. I want you to consider all that you have seen and all that you have heard today. Consider the words of the unbelieving doctor. Consider the scriptures that the priest himself read. Consider the love and the support that this man has chosen to use and to stand beside his wife regardless of what anybody else says. And I want you to consider the love and the unwavering conviction that this mother has for her daughter. Consider the possibilities. He wants you to think that it's not logical, that a man has to be with a woman. But we've already proven that God can do the impossible. So this really isn't about whether or not a virgin can conceive. This is about whether or not God is choosing to use her as the virgin to conceive. I can only speak for myself in this courtroom today, and I wouldn't want the responsibility of risking the chance of killing the mother of the Messiah. Would you want to kill the Messiah who will one day save you from your sins? Or what about the Messiah that will heal you from all sicknesses and diseases? The Messiah. Do you want to be responsible for making that choice of killing the Messiah?
Okay. Jury, you have heard the testimonies and the arguments of both sides. And as you deliberate, I ask that you weigh the evidence or lack thereof to determine a fair and just verdict. Is Mary guilty or not? That is the only question that this jury will be answering, and everything else is your business. Dismissed. Will the defendant please stand and face the jury? Considering our past, the spiritual world is real, is as real as the physical, and both manifest pieces of themselves in the other. I have presided over many cases and have never presided over a more controversial case in my life. And from all that I've heard, Mary, you're a young lady that appears to be an ideal vessel of choice if God was looking for a virgin to house his son. Clearly, the decision is not mine to make. Has the jury reached a decision?
Yes, Your Honor, we reached a decision.
Bailiff, please bring me the verdict.
Thank you.
Okay. Is this decision unanimous?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right. Mary, the decision has been made, and the jury has reached a verdict, a unanimous verdict, and found you not guilty.
Your Honor,
Yes.
this is ridiculous.
Order!
Yes.
Order
This
in the
is
court.
Foolishness, utter foolishness.
Court is adjourned.
I have
Bailiff,
never heard of
please
such a
escort the
thing in my
prosecutor to my
entire-
chambers.
This demands a retrial, Your Honor. You will see me again, Your Honor. This is ridiculous.
Yes, 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 we did it.
I told you we was going to win. All I do is win. Mary,
Yes.
I want you to know that this is just the beginning of your journey. There's so much more in store for you and so much more that you're going to encounter. But I want y'all to keep me updated. And who will I be sending my bill to?
Mama.
Okay.
Mama got it.
All right. Thank you. And y'all get on the road. You got to get
Thank
going.
you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you again. Oh, no problem. No problem. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I will. I will. I will.